Welcome to Wisdom Inspired, a podcast designed to help high achievers to eliminate burnout and overwhelm. Now let's prepare to open our hearts, our minds, and our notebooks to receive today's wisdom.
The title for today is Never Surrender to the F's of Life. Never surrender to the F's of life. Leaders, we must never surrender our leadership, right? And we are always in a leadership position when it comes to our life, right? We're in charge of what we do, what we say, how we live, the dreams, the goals, the aspirations that we go after as leaders. And oftentimes, our leadership of our life, more times than not, is always going to be up against challenges or problems. And understanding that is very, very important. That doesn't mean that you've even done anything wrong. It actually could be a sign that you're moving in the right direction, because resistance in the form of problems or challenges happens as leaders are moving forward, because it's a form of strengthening and strengthening them and empowering them so that they can continue to lead at the level needed in the next stage in life. Whenever there are problems or challenges, you must, as a leader, take charge, take control, and be willing to take a chance if you are going to manage the difficulty effectively. Again, you must be willing to take charge, take control, and take a chance if you're going to manage the difficulty effectively. Understanding that leadership in our life is a force that selects our dreams and sets our goals. It is the force that propels us through every endeavor till we see success. But there are F's in life that appear. These F's show up. Oftentimes, we are distracted by them. We oftentimes are even unknowingly giving in and surrendering our leadership to them. And today, I wanted to share some of these F's with us and identifying factors of them so that as we move forward as leaders, we're better equipped to understand them and be aware of them when they're coming up, so that we're not giving in, so that we're not losing traction, and we're not delaying our progress. So today, I'm going to share these few identifying factors, and these are the F's of life. So the first F of life is force, outside forces. We are to never surrender our leadership to outside forces. Forces are things that appear as a barrier because they are outside of our current experience. Poverty is an outside factor. The lack of needed capital in whatever situation you may be in is perceived as an outside force simply because the thing that you need is not a part of your present experience. At the moment, you may lack money in that present experience, but there is a way to raise the capital that you need. You may have to save. You may even have to practice better stewardship over your resources, but the money will come as long as you never surrender to the outside force, as long as you never stop, as long as you never close off your perspective to the possibility that lies within. That outside force eventually goes away because of everything that you're seeking now becomes a part of your experience. The second F of life is faces or farces. We are to never surrender to faces or farces. Faces are those things in people's body language, in their words or non-words, in their support or lack thereof. And those faces lead us to farces in our own mind. See, the audience is the people that is watching our lives. They can be directly related or indirectly related to us, but people are always watching leaders. And oftentimes, this audience has a body language that might suggest they don't support you. It may appear that they're going to be very critical of your efforts. Their facial expressions or their delayed responses may cause you to now create a farce in your mind that says They don't believe in me. I can't do this. This won't work out. You believe that you don't look the part simply because their faces have said so. You begin to tell yourself a story about something you've never even taken action on. You begin to believe that nothing will work out, and you create this entire story that you're not good enough, the idea isn't good enough. You go back and you are constantly revisiting it, playing with it, trying to get it perfect on paper before you even execute it. In that very moment, you have just surrendered your leadership to Faces and Farces. Because as a leader, you have to be willing to take risk. You have to be willing to take a chance, knowing that the worst thing that could happen is that you just don't hit the mark. But there's so much more that you'll learn along the way. The third F is frustration. Never surrender your leadership to frustrations. Frustrations are always going to be present, but they're temporary. They're just temporary in its emotion. Frustration is often a sign of misalignment or lack of proper perspective about the possibilities available during a difficult time. Our mind has pretty much shut off. The person that we're dealing with seems to be completely not getting our point, simply difficult to conversate with, and all of a sudden we're frustrated. Our mind is shut off, and we're no longer seeing the possibilities that can come. See, these frustrations don't last long because they can shift. Your emotion of frustration simply means you may need to remove yourself from the present circumstance. It may mean that you need to listen more and talk less. Or it may simply mean that this doesn't align with your core values and it's creating a frustration within yourself. But it's always temporary. Frustrations can oftentimes cause us to quit and make a final decision about a variable that is subject to change. Never surrender to frustration. Our fourth F is facts. Leaders are never to surrender their leadership to facts. It may be a fact that you're facing a problem. It may be a fact that the economy is in an uproar. It may be a fact that you might not be in the position that you believe you want to be in. But the truth of the matter is, facts never outweigh your attitude. Your attitude is more powerful than any facts. If your attitude remains positive, you remain in control of the problem. You're in the control position. Maintaining a positive attitude, no matter the facts, certainly guarantees that you can move your way through this problem. Yes, you might even get frustrated along the way, but remember, frustration is often the sign that our perspective is off. So when you are faced with facts, keeping a positive attitude allows you to maintain the proper perspective needed so that you can move forward despite the facts. And our fifth F is frenzy. We are to never surrender our leadership to a frantic or frenzied situation. When frantic situations occur, sometimes we lose control, oftentimes more than not, and we make bad decisions that will impact us more than the situation itself. In these frantic situations, keeping calm, pulling away, and doing nothing and thinking is going to allow you time to take inventory of the situation. Calm your emotions and elevate your perspective so that your thoughts have settled and you are equipped to make better decisions. You see the whole picture. You see how a decision will impact you not just right now, but in the long run. See, this tip is the more frantic the situation, the less you need to do, and the more you need to think. The more frantic the situation, the less you need to do, and the more you need to think. See, the F's of life are always around us as leaders. If you are a leader who is practicing taking control, taking charge, and taking a chance in your own life, these F's of life are going to always appear. But you have now been able to identify some of these factors and understand that when you see them, how you are to behave as a leader. Because it is your leadership that gets you through the problem. It is your leadership that gets you to see the level of success that you desire. And it is your leadership, it is your force that is going to ensure that the dreams and goals that you have will come to pass. Now remember, they might not look exactly as you thought that they should, but know that no matter what, in your leadership, all of your steps are being ordered and everything in your life is going to work together for your good as long as you maintain your leadership position of your own life. So I hope today's wisdom inspires you. I hope today's wisdom encourages you. I also hope today's wisdom challenges you so that you can look at these F's of life, identifying them in your own life, and then finding out how to apply them properly, how to apply not surrendering your leadership in the midst of problems and challenges and difficulties.
I hope you enjoyed the episode of Wisdom Inspired that was brought to you by the AAC Co-working Community, a virtual community designed to support female entrepreneurs, business owners, and freelance professionals. For more, go to wisdominspired.net.